Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great week. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, pattern back personal fitness from a remote location this week. Had some schedule changes kind of last minute and already booked our studio and made some plans. And it's a topic tonight that I wanted to touch on. So I've got my new tripod that I got for selfie stick tripod that I got for Christmas. Trying that out tonight. So hopefully everyone can hear okay. And get a good reception. But I wanted to talk tonight about a topic I heard about the other day in the news, and I thought it was worth chatting about. There was a study reported on the radio, which usually studies that the media or radio sometimes hear about, typically are maybe a one and done or something new that maybe isn't as researched as maybe we'd like it to be. And sometimes it's just the kind of talking points. But the idea was that something like 1 in 4 or 2 in 4, something like that of Americans wish that their body came with a check engine light so that they could have kind of a better gauge of themselves. And some of the examples they had of what they hoped this check engine light type of thing would do is tell them when they should drink water, maybe when they should eat or stop eating, maybe when they're not feeling the greatest, a few different things like that. And I kind of saw the idea behind it, but at the same time, we have those. Our body has systems and signals in place to let us know some of these things. And so it almost seemed like another instance where, because our health and our self-care maybe isn't talked about as much as it should be, people kind of want an even easier way through some of these things, when really some of these aren't super difficult to deal with. So I wanted to talk tonight about that, but about actually being in connection and in touch with your check engine light, with your gauges, with your speedometers, those types of things, so that you can understand when they send you that signal that, oh, we need to do this, or there's not enough of this in our body right now, let's ramp something up, or something doesn't feel right. The signals are there. Typically, the warning signs are there. We just have to pay attention to them. And sometimes we get so caught up in things that we don't maybe even know to look for or what they are. But sometimes even we just don't pay attention to them because, again, it's that rat race. We're trying to go and hustle and grind and do all these things when we need to really just listen to ourselves and know what's going on. So just thinking of, again, we'll start with thirst, with knowing when to drink water. Typically, again, there's a feeling of thirst, of dryness, of maybe even feeling a little lethargic or a little brain fog. Those are all kind of signs maybe that we need to be drinking more water. So again, listen to your body, stay in tune. If something doesn't feel right, pay attention to it. How are you feeling? What are the feelings you have? What maybe have you done in the past to fix this feeling? Or maybe is there something you haven't been doing as much as you usually do? Maybe that's what's bringing on this feeling. So our thirst receptors usually, again, mean we need to drink some water. A lot of times our hunger just means that we're a little dehydrated and need to drink some water as well. So again, some warning signs are there. Listen to those signs and stay in tune with ourselves. And that's what I try to promote as a fitness coach when I'm training someone, to be really in tune with what you're doing. Don't just go through the motions of doing a bicep curl. Think of the bicep muscle, the front of the arm, lifting the weight and lowering the weight, and feel that muscle do the work. So when you're not thinking of being in the gym and something happens in real life, the body, the mind know how to react. They know how to communicate. Same thing, you want to be listening to your body and heed these warning signs so that we can keep our hydration up to where it needs to be. We can make sure we don't dehydrate or get over thirsty. If we have adequate water, then our cells and our processes in the body can do what we need them to do so we can perform better. We can stay in that operationally fit type of mindset that we all like to be in and all strive to be in. But again, we have to listen to those signals. If you're, maybe sleep was another one, when to go to bed or how much sleep to get. If you're tired, that's a great sign that you need sleep. Again, listen to your body. Again, maybe the muscles are tight and achy. Sometimes I find that I get a little bit of restless leg. My legs will be twitchy and uncomfortable when I'm a little overtired. Again, you just have that brain fog. listen to your body, be in connection with it, and don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the check engine light. If it's on, handle it, respond it, get that maintenance done. Again, top up the fluids, do some movement, maybe whatever, get some rest, meditate, relax, de-stress, listen to those warning signs that are there. I don't know if you I've seen it as a joke on a couple things, but Big Bang Theory comes to mind, where Sheldon gets in the car with Penny, her check engine light is on, and that's been on for months, it's okay. And it becomes a running gag, and then eventually, like a few seasons in, the car actually breaks down, and he's like, I told you, the check engine light was on. So we want to listen to these symptoms and these signals because they're there for a reason, and they are there. Again, we just have to be more in tune with them, and maybe put a little more, I was just going to say, a little more work into it, and maybe bring it to the forefront where we're paying attention to that. Sometimes we really seem to want people to just come up to us and say, you're thirsty, have a drink, go for a run. Here's a way to lose some weight. Here's how you get stronger. Do this. When really we could put some of the work in ourselves. Some of this stuff is really straightforward. Again, we just have to put the priority on ourselves that we deserve to take such good care of ourselves, to make sure we're hydrated and well rested and eating at appropriate times, but not overindulging in things, and following a plan if we need to. So I wanted to talk about that and mention to stay in connection with what it is your body's doing. Understand what is going on inside your body. And if something doesn't feel right, look into it, try to figure out, problem solve it. And if it's something really beyond what you can do yourself, then that's when we go to the next level. Maybe we go to physio or chiro or our family doctor, naturopath, whoever, to maybe look into things and make sure that our levels are okay, that our gauges are accurately reading, and our body's performing how we need it to be. But we need that connection. We need that awareness, self-awareness that we don't always, again, exercise. A lot of times we're aware of others and taking care of others and what everyone else needs, when really we need to turn that focus inward and focus on ourselves, because our body is very smart and has a lot of those signs and signals and check engine lights that we need. Again, a lot of us just maybe try to push through it, maybe ignore it, or just aren't, again, in this as deep of connection with ourselves as we need to be and deserve to be, so that we can get the most out of our day and be the safest we can be, and perform at a high level, and then be better able to help those around us that rely on us. Again, we always say, if you take care of yourself first, then you can better take care of those around you. So don't ignore the warning signs. The check engine light comes on, the low tire pressure light comes on. You would check those, right? You would get the car serviced. You would take a look at it. Is it something I can do? My low fuel light's on. I can put gas in the car. I feel hungry and low energy. Maybe I need to eat something. We have, again, these systems in place. Don't ignore the warning signs. Acknowledge them, use them, get familiar with them, and you'll kind of know what you can kind of do with up to a certain level before you really need to throw the red flag and have the flashing symbol to say, okay, fix it now. Listen to your body, be aware of yourself, and that all starts with something as be aware of how the body's aligned. Be aware of what you're kind of taking in. When you're shoveling snow, be aware of your back and your body position. When you're in the gym, be aware of how you're lifting weights. When you're studying information or taking a course, be aware, be present, focus on what it is you're doing, and practice that mind-muscle connection. Having Blake on a few weeks ago talking about vision boards and how it's a type of imagery, visualization. Visualization is using our imagination that we do frequently when we're young, but for some reason we grow up and think we shouldn't do that anymore. And we don't use that muscle as much. We don't imagine, we don't visualize. And then we kind of lose that skill. It's rusty, per se. We want to use that. It's like having a car when you never put the e-brake on because it's always in gear, and then you park on a hill and go to put the emergency brake on, and it's rusted out and the cable breaks because you haven't used it to keep the fluids moving and the joints lubricated and things to make it work efficiently. We're the same way. Our mind and our muscles and our bones need all that movement and that repetition to keep the system sharp. So the more you practice it, the more efficient it will be. So be mindful of what you're doing. Again, make a point this week of maybe picking a couple areas where you can be extra mindful and present in what you're doing. Out for a walk. Again, be mindful of how you're moving and what your body's doing, how it feels, and be mindful of your surroundings. Take those in. Try to turn the devices off or the alerts off for a little bit and just unplug and see where you are and work on that nice mind-body, mind-muscle connection. So again, don't ignore the signs when they're there. That check engine light flashes, we want to service it. That low tire pressure comes up, we fix it. Low fuel, and we fix it. Well, what I also want to talk about is thinking of it in terms of a check engine light or a car. We don't always wait until the check engine light comes on before we do something. We don't necessarily always wait for the low fuel light to come on before we put gas in the car. There's preventative things we do to make sure the car runs smoothly. We can check the tire pressure. We can make sure we stay within half a tank maybe when we fill up all the time to make sure we have lots of gas. We can schedule oil changes and maintenance and things for the engine to make sure that that light doesn't come on. We do preventative maintenance to try to take as good of care of ourselves as we can. We can do that for us as well. Preventative maintenance, preventative medicine, which is what fitness is, and something I wish as a fitness professional that was talked about more. It's preventative medicine. We want to keep you as healthy as we can, so hopefully you don't need a lot of health care maybe when you age and don't need all those medicines and different things. You can take care of yourself. So drinking water throughout the day is like fueling the car, putting oil in the car, making sure that that oil is a good reading, that there's adequate amount of it in. And again, it keeps the fluids through the body, the joints are lubricated, the brain can work how it needs to. So rather than waiting until you're dry and thirsty, sip throughout the day. Maybe figure out how much water you need to take in during the day and try to meet that goal. But if nothing else, maybe just having a bottle with you through the day and sipping on it, having it there, keep some water in your body. You'll get water from some of our foods as well. So you'll get that in there, but don't always wait for the check engine light to come on to say, you're thirsty, have a drink. Keep drinking. That keeps that body performing at an optimal level. And then you don't have to wait for the light to come on. We don't want to, again, wait for the low gas light to come on all the time. Maybe we want to say, we use the gauge itself, the signals to say, we've only got a quarter of a tank left. We should put some gas in so we don't get too close to that empty side. Same thing. You don't have to wait till you're super hungry to maybe refuel the body. We encourage frequent snacking through the day to keep that engine working and burning the calories. And again, have the energy for the mind and the body to do the processes it needs to do. So too often, I think we kind of wait for, again, either someone to hand us that card that says, have a drink, or eat some food, or go to sleep. And we don't listen to the warning signs. But at the same time, maybe we're not as preventative as we could be when we can keep all those gauges from turning on and alerting us, because we can put some care into ourselves that we all deserve. We can be active every day. It doesn't have to be always exercise. Again, activity counts as keeping us healthy. We can drink our water. We can make the best choices possible with our food and our nutrition to, again, use preventative maintenance on our vessel, on our vehicle, and keep those alerts from coming on. The alerts, typically a check engine light, is kind of almost a worst case scenario, or a, hey, buddy, get this to the garage and get it fixed because something's about to go terribly wrong. We don't want to wait till those come on. We want to do the steps we need to take care of ourselves. So yes, listen to the alerts when they're there. Don't ignore them. Really sharpen those connections and action them when those alerts do come up. But maybe take a few minutes tonight and think of how could I be a little more preventative in my care? What could I do more? Could I maybe up my water intake? Is there a way I could just increase my water intake? And think of what works for you. For me, for a while when I worked, I had more of a desk job doing some recreation work. There was more planning things. For me, it worked when I had one of those to-go cups. It looked like a take-out cup, but it was the healthy plastic, the BPA-3 with the straw in it. And I had that on my desk, and I would just sip on it as I worked on pamphlets and booking camps and things like that. For me, then that worked. Now I find more of a shaker cup or a water bottle works great because I can tuck it in my locker at work, or I can have it on my desk at home, pick it up, take it with me where I go. That works a little better for me. Some people will take some of these, empty them halfway, freeze them, and then take them the next day. And then as they thaw out, they drink them. Same with the insulated ones. I've heard of people saying that they would freeze one of those with water, throw it in their car overnight, It would stay cold. It would thaw out during the day, and midday, that was their kind of second water bottle. They would take one fresh in the morning and then have the frozen one later on. There's just, again, tons of different strategies we can use. Same with your eating. Can we do some meal prep? Can we get things ready in advance? Can we choose our meals or where we're going to go from good sources, good places? We pack our lunch the night before. All those things help us hopefully get more nutrition and do a little better throughout the day. So again, we're maintaining high performance, not waiting for everything to break and then trying to fix it. Maybe it's having some snacks in your desk at work, or again, having some close by that you can go and grab when you need to. Maybe get outside for a fresh air break on your breaks. Get a walk in, get some movement in. You'll recharge the mind, the body. You'll de-stress from maybe what was bothering you in the morning. Some blood flow gets the muscles feeling better, helps the energy, gets the mind sharper. And then you come back and you're performing at a higher level. It's like taking the car out, putting some high octane in it, taking it through the car wash, maybe freshening it up, and then hitting the open road. You get nice smooth driving, feels good, get nice open road, and you can make good time and get the most out of that drive. Same thing for you. If we do preventative maintenance and take care of ourselves and put the work in advance, our vessel will last a lot longer, stay healthier, and perform at a higher level because we've put the work in. So think of that analogy of any of those things, even like an electronic device or a vehicle. The better we take care of it when we get it, the longer typically it'll last, and it'll work better in that time. It'll perform at a high level. We don't want to have something forever that barely works. We want to have a good quality experience out of it. Same with us. We want to have a long life, but a high quality life as well. And again, that all comes from starting now of creating a maintenance plan, of preventative medicine. If you're very stressed out, what can I do to maybe avoid some of the stressors? We've talked before about having systems in place. If I have good systems in place, then maybe I don't get so stressed, or maybe I can handle the stress better, or maybe I can respond to those unknown stressors because I have everything else really planned out and really prepared for, because I have a system in place that has worked for me so many times in the past, and I've just tweaked it to whatever's going on now. And we're trying to be as preventative and proactive as we can, which is, I guess, kind of the main word to think of here. Be proactive, not reactive. Check engine lights on, the low fuel lights on, the tire pressure gauge is on. That's reactive. Oh, I got to fix this because something's not performing well. As opposed to you checking the tire pressure, you keeping gas in the car, you making sure the oil changes are done and maintenance is done to keep it performing at a high level. Same thing for you. Keep the hydration up, make as good of food choices as you can, find a pattern of eating that works for you and a system, find ways to either prevent, reduce, or cope with the stress that you have and how to come back to that. We've talked about a lot of these things before. Overcoming obstacles and roadblocks, having contingency plans for your goals. All of these things are proactive methods, and that's what we want to be at. And same for me. I'm trying to work on being more proactive in what it is I'm doing so that I don't have to react so much. Because if we react, then we're either on someone else's agenda or we're scrambling to catch up and to fix. If we can be proactive, then again, we can get a good system, a good flow into place, good momentum, and then we just tweak and adjust as we need to. Tweaking and adjusting is a lot less stressful on us than having to really fix something from scratch or really panic and have to do a 180 to change course. Well, maybe we just need a little to the left, little to the right, just to kind of avoid or go around whatever's come up at us. But we have everything else in as good a place as we can. So what I'd like to challenge you to do, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments here, whether you're with us live or via recording. Again, feel free to say hello. Let us know that you're checking in. Great to hear from some of you today who reached out in advance to see if the recordings are available because you couldn't make it live. And yes, they are on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. It'll be there eventually, YouTube and Twitter later as well. I upload to those platforms. So typically they're there for you to see and to go back on if you need to, or if you're catching us on recording. But let us know you're here. And what I'd like to hear from you is what is one area, just one area, where you're going to be a little better at being proactive in the next little while. Maybe it's increasing your water intake. Maybe it's your nutrition. Maybe it's your stress management. Maybe it's keeping more gas in your car. Whatever the case is, what can you be more proactive at? And exercise some preventative care. And again, not wait till things are so bad that your check engine light comes on to say, oh, something's wrong inside, we got to fix it. Let's be as preventative and proactive as we can to keep our vessel working at a high optimal level for as long as we can, so we can get the most out of our day-to-day life and stay as operationally fit as we can. So again, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you're going to do or work on to be more proactive at? And then check in. Let me know how it's going in future episodes, or send me DMs. Let me know how it's going. So again, we can share with each other here and help each other continue to evolve and grow. So again, I just heard that on the radio, and I thought it was an interesting study and an interesting way to look at things when we do have kind of those gauges, those check engine lights, those service vehicle soon kind of alerts in our body. We just have to listen to them when they happen. And even better, if we can be more preventative, then those alerts shouldn't come up. We should be able to keep our vehicle working at a high level so that, again, we don't have to take it to the mechanics to get it fixed. We don't have to go to the doctor to get something major done, or go on some kind of different eating plan or medication because maybe we didn't do enough proactive preventative care beforehand. And just as a reminder, if something feels off, doesn't feel quite right, and you're not sure, again, do what you can. And if it's something still isn't 100%, go get it checked. Trust your instincts. Again, listen to your body. I hope to have him on soon when we kind of evolve PatFacts a little more. But a mentor of mine, Peter Twist, is a stage 4 cancer survivor. He was in optimal shape to look at performance-wise. He was running mountains, doing these things, but something just felt not right. And he went to a few doctors, and they said, "Oh, you're foolish. You're in great shape. Look at you." And something just didn't come right. And he got a little bit of a kind of a epiphany or a sign. He said, "Nope, I'm going back in. And I'm demanding tests be done." And then that's when they discovered the baseball-sized tumor in his neck that he was able to overcome with a lot of trials and tribulations. But he trusted his body and his mind connection and his gauges. He listened to them, and he made sure that he was looked after and taken care of. So again, if those alerts are there, don't ignore them. Connect to them. Do what you can to repair them. Hopefully it's just minor things like more hydration, getting good sleep, maybe better stress management, getting active, doing some exercise. But again, if something isn't right and we need those next steps, then please don't ignore those. Get those steps in place. Take care of yourself. Get the problem fixed as soon as you can to get back to that high quality of life. And so the problem doesn't become worse over time. So that's it for tonight, everyone. Hopefully that gave you some reminders and some knowledge. And again, I wanted to hop on here, even though I'm not at home in the office. I brought my equipment. I wanted to hop on and chat just quickly so that we could have those reminders to listen to your body and your mind and stay in tune with yourself, work on that connection. And let's really work on our preventative medicine, our preventative maintenance, being proactive so we can take as good of care of ourselves as possible. So we perform on a high level. We hopefully reduce the risk of injury and sickness. If it does come, then we can get over it sooner without too many consequences. And we can have a high quality of a lengthy life that we all deserve. So again, I'd love to hear from you what you're going to work on this week to be a little more mindful and what you're going to be a little more proactive with in the next little bit. Let us know in the comments, the chats, what it is you're going to be working on. And I'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. with our next topic. We'll see what we come up with. It's into March, so reminder, first of the month, good time to do those check-ins with your progress, see how things are going. Be sure to keep track of what you're doing and have those goals laid out and those check-ins so you can track that progress and see how great you're all doing, working towards those goals that you set a few months ago. Wait, Christopher K-Man, welcome in. It says weights and walking for me. So what Chris is going to do. Awesome, K-Man, that sounds great. Some weights and walking. And again, it doesn't have to be super intense and complicated. Simple things provide great results if there's consistency and a purpose behind it. And knowing why we're doing it. It doesn't always have to be super complicated. And that's when a lot of clients I find fall off the wagons when they try to make it too complicated or do too many things at once. So Chris has some more activity there, weights and walking, making that a routine, getting it in. That's going to help him be more preventative. Great strategies. Walking, get the cardio up, get the body moving, get those joints lubricated and working well. The weights, get that good strength in there so the body can handle the demands that life puts on it every day. That's a great strategy, Chris. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. Great way to get yourself in preventive medicine. Keep the bones healthy, keep the muscles strong, so we can do what we need to do and handle the demands of life and handle those unexpected demands as well that come our way. So appreciate you sharing it. Appreciate you guys all being here. So that's it for tonight, everyone. Thanks again so much for tuning in. We'll see where we broadcast from next week. Maybe we'll go on the road and do a little tour. We are approaching, speaking of going on tour, I'm not sure how that's a segue, but we'll say it is. We're actually approaching our 3-year anniversary of PatFacts. We started in March of 2020. So we're going to pick one of the weeks coming up and do a bit of an anniversary show, a little recap. We're not sure what entirely we'll do yet. I know one year I did a recap, but last year we kind of did some reminiscing. So we'll see what we come up with. Maybe we can get some special guests to pop by. We'll see. But 3 years, hard to believe, is coming up soon of PatFacts. You can go back and see a lot of those on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And we're trying to collect them all together and, again, convert them to podcasts. Hopefully soon, and expand it to have more guests and different things as well. So looking forward to getting some big things coming with PatFacts down the road. So stay tuned for details of our 3rd anniversary stream, and we'll see you here next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.